How's it going, guys? Today we're going to pull out another fun one. We have the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus. Check this thing out with me. So the Bersa Thunder 380 Plus. What makes it a plus? Well, it makes it a plus because more magazine capacity. That's right. So right here I have a regular Bersa Thunder 380. Now essentially they look about the same, don't they? Same approximate size, same approximate grip, except the Plus is just a little bit fatter, and that's going to accommodate for the magazine. We'll talk about that in a second. And the same basic operating system. So the main difference between the two is, like I said before, capacity. And that's all it really is. So essentially it's the same frame, but you're going to notice the mag wells are significantly different. The 380 Thunder Plus is going to be fatter than the regular 380 Thunder. And that's because the regular Thunder only has a capacity for an 8-round magazine. This guy will hold 15. Oh yeah, that's right. So I still have that drum magazine for this one, and it's still a lot of fun to shoot, and we're going to play with it later. But I don't really need it, especially if I got 15 rounds in this. The drum magazine's got 22, this has got 15, so it's just shy 7 rounds. But if you're dealing with a CCW gun, which is what these primarily be used for, then you don't want that big drum hanging out the bottom. You want it all compact in the grip, all the same. So you can easily stick it in your pocket and conceal it without any issues. We'll check this thing out a little bit more. So let's have a look at the magazines here. They look relatively about the same. This is the standard 8-round Thunder magazine, and this is the Thunder Plus. This one's going to hold 15, like I said. This one's going to hold 8. And you can see the width is significantly different, but they still load from the top like a single stacker. Now the difference is this holds true to the single stack, and this one, as it goes further down, it starts to stagger it as it goes further down in the magazine. Hence why you can have more capacity in it, right? Makes sense. So why should I have this big drum sticking out the bottom and ultimately destroy any concealability when I can have it sitting flush with a 15-round magazine with nearly the same capacity? Now the Bersa Thunder series is very popular because, one, they're super affordable, they're cheap, but they're very well made, very, very well made, super reliable. They're compact and they're super easy to hold in the hand because they're a relatively thin profile. Very popular with women these days, but men also carry them too. The only difference with the Thunder Plus is the grip is a little bit fatter. For me, that works out very well because I got these big paws, so they wrap around very comfortably, and I actually kind of prefer the fatter grip on there, but that's personal preference. Somebody with smaller hands is going to prefer the smaller grip, and that's not a big deal. But here's the thing, when it comes down to preference, are you going to carry those 8 rounds, or am I going to carry 15? It's however you carry that's going to be your preference. If you feel like you only need for your daily carry to be 8 rounds, which is just fine in my eyes, is kind of like an octopus ink spray, get away from me, and then you get out of Dodge. I'm not looking for an extended gunfight. But if you feel more comfortable with a higher capacity, the Thunder Plus is probably going to be right up your alley. So we're going to start off, we're going to be at 15 yards because, again, the 380 ACP is fairly limited. It's a light round bullet, and it's, I wouldn't say very powerful. So taking long shots at like 25 yards, that's not really going to give us a good look at how it can do. But at 15 yards, that's pretty ideal. Now the big deal about carrying conceal, especially with these guns, is accuracy and concealability. If you don't have an accurate gun, then what's the point in even having the darn thing? So I think at 15 yards, it's going to show us very well how this thing can actually perform. Now we saw in a previous video with the 380 Thunder, and it's pretty darn accurate at 15 yards. So I feel like this is going to do just fine, seeing as pretty much everything's the same with the exception of the magazine and the grip. So I don't think there's going to be much shock there, but that's going to be important. If you could hit it at 15, you can hit it at 5 feet. Now guys, there's going to be a bummer factor here. The Thunder 380 magazines are not compatible with the Thunder Plus, and that's part and parcel because the magazine well is going to be so much fatter. So even with the drum, ain't gonna happen. It's just too much room in there, it ain't gonna work. But it's got 15 round magazines standard anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But if you were hoping that you can interchange some of your old parts like your magazines from your Thunder and you're going to upgrade to the Thunder Plus, you're going to have to get new mags. Sorry guys. So here we are at 15. Let's get started. So there's 15. First shot, dead nuts. The follow-on 4 were low, and the last one came up here. I'm thinking bullet drop. Might have something to do with this. Maybe it's destabilizing. Let's give it a go at 10 yards and see if there's any noticeable difference. So that was shots at 15 yards. We started seeing them going low, so maybe I'm a bit overconfident on how far this thing can reach. So we're gonna take it up to 10 yards and we'll do a reprint and see how it does. Now, one thing I noticed, and I want to bring up, that I love on these types of guns with the decocker on here. Now, that first shot is always going to be the heaviest because you got to pull the hammer back with it, and then every follow-on shot's going to be single action. But the deal with the decocker on there is, if you leave the decocker on, you can safely load it, and it's got the hammer disconnect, so it's not going to actuate the hammer, and there's no possibility of firing this gun while that decocker is on. So you can safely rack it, load it, leave it sitting like that, and that's fine. Now, when you're carrying it, you have to remember that decocker is going to deactivate that trigger to hammer. God forbid, if something were to happen, you need to either train yourself to hit that decocker, or you're going to have to walk around with the decocker off, but the hammer down. Now, luckily, with the Bersa series, that first trigger pull, even though it is a little bit heavier, ultra smooth. Cheaper gun, ultra smooth on the trigger though. So this thing has a lot going for it, and especially with that added capacity on this, I'd say that this model right here, the Plus, is king. Let's take it up to 10. Now that's a little bit more like it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And even when I saw that one go out there, I was like, what is that? So I probably jerked the trigger on that one. But otherwise, at 10 yards, all of them in the red, looking pretty good. So here's where the Plus is going to show its advantages. I've already gone through 2 volleys. I think it was 6 or 7 rounds apiece. I believe it was 6. And I've still got ammo. I would have already had to reload with the original one. So we've already seen how it does at 15. A little bit of drop, that's okay. And we saw how it did at 10. It held up pretty darn good. So let's have some fun, shoot some of those swingers real quick, and then we'll go to wrap this up. Well, there you have it, guys. Showing empty, empty. One thing I did notice, just like the regular Thunders, it does not like semi-wad cutters, so if you can use round nose, they actually cycle better. Those last few shots, I was starting to have a couple loading issues, but otherwise, it performs pretty darn good. So, all in all, it's a darn fine pistol. It shoots pretty darn good. You gotta remember the limitations of it. Otherwise, you can't go wrong with it. 15 rounds, just a little bit fatter on there, and it still shoots pretty good. Now the concealability is the same because it's essentially the same frame, but boom, gone. So it's a super concealable gun. This would work out excellent for CCW. So all in all, highly recommend. I think that this one actually beats out the original Thunder, and that's because the added capacity on there really gives it that extra little bit that you need. So before we go, I know what you all really came here for. You want to see a mag dump from the drum, don't you? All right, I'll do it, just for you guys. Gosh, that's fun. Now remember, this is not compatible with the Thunder Plus, just the original Thunder. No, I don't remember where I got it. I've had that thing for probably 15 years, and no, I will not try to find one for you. Guys, you gotta do your own research. Sorry. But anyway, the Thunder 380 Plus versus the Thunder 380 regular, I guess. This one's pretty good. If they were to make a Thunder Plus drum magazine, I'd probably try to find it. If you guys find one, hey, good luck. Let's see a video of you guys if you find one. But anyway, don't forget to check out our friends over there, Workaday Custom Gun Leather, custom made to order. Don't forget to check them out. And this was a lot of fun to do this one. Hope you guys get some value out of it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your buddies. Until next time.